the game.
Hey there, I'm Kelsey Dickey. What started as helping people with their money at my dining room table grew into a 7-figure financial coaching practice. Now I teach others how to build a thriving coaching business of their own. Whether you're just starting out or you've been coaching for years, I'm here to help you make a bigger impact while doing what you love. This is the Financial Coach Academy podcast. Let's dive in. Hey, Coach, let me kick off this episode with a review from Money Coach Michelle. She says, I have listened to nearly every episode of this podcast and learned so much. It is full of so much invaluable free content. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate those who take the time to leave a review on iTunes. Thank you so much, Michelle. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're going to talk about something that I think every financial coach needs to hear, especially the ones who really care about their clients, which I hope is everybody who listens to this podcast. It's about the illusion of control. The idea that if we just explain something the right way, or push a little harder, or steer our clients towards what we know is the right decision, that we can somehow control the outcome. I get it. I've done it. I've tried to talk clients out of certain decisions. I've convinced myself that it was my job to protect them. But if I'm being honest, like really honest, what I was doing wasn't about them. It was about me. Looking back, I can see that it came from two places. One was insecurity. I was scared that if they made the wrong choice, it would reflect badly on me, that maybe I wasn't a good enough coach. And the other, arrogance. I believed I knew what was best for my clients. I acted like I could predict the future, and I expected them to just trust my version of it. Here's the problem. We can't prevent consequences. No matter how good our advice is, no matter how detailed our spreadsheets are, things will still go sideways sometimes. Unexpected events happen. Clients don't make perfect decisions. No financial plan is perfect. And more importantly, trying to shelter our clients from consequences actually slows down their growth. So let's talk about what real progress looks like. To me, progress is when a client learns how to make intentional, informed decisions, plan ahead, think critically about possible outcomes, and then no matter what happens, good or bad, reflect honestly, stay clear-headed, and pivot when needed. That's the skill we're building, not perfection, not obedience, not following some step-by-step blueprint. And the only way our clients build these skills is by experiencing real-world consequences. So when we try to control their choices, what we're actually doing is robbing them of the very thing they came to us for. We're disempowering them. We're making their success about our ego instead of their learning. Here's the mindset shift I had to make. My job isn't to be right. My job isn't to protect them from ever feeling regret. My job is to help them be more resourceful, more prepared, and more confident in their ability to respond when life throws them a curveball, because it will. And that starts with trusting them. And when I don't agree, even when I'm nervous about how it'll turn out, that mindset shift has changed everything for me. It's also made me a much better coach. So, what do you do then when a client insists on a risky strategy? Let's say a client comes to you with an idea that you think is risky, or maybe it's a bad call. Maybe it's like really risky, or maybe it's just more risky than another option that they're choosing between. You don't just smile and nod, but you don't also want to bulldoze them. So here's how I approach these. First is we create extreme clarity. Your client might not fully grasp what this decision means, financially, emotionally, or logistically. Our job is to make the invisible visible. You can say something like, I hear that you're confident in this strategy, and my job isn't to tell you what to do, but to make sure you're fully informed. Let's map out exactly what this could look like before you move forward. Then walk through these 3 layers. What is the best case scenario? If everything works out exactly as they hope, what's the upside? Most clients come to meetings that I've had with them where this is what they're thinking about. They're thinking of the best case scenario naturally. So then we also want to map out the second scenario, which is the worst case scenario. If this totally flops, what's the damage? And then we also want to map out what is the most likely scenario based on the data, based on experience. What's the most likely outcome look like? We're not fear-mongering, we're illuminating. Step 2 is map out the impact. So you can ask financial questions. How much money does this require up front? What's the return if it works? What happens if we lose money on this decision? Does this derail other priorities? And if so, how? You can ask emotional questions. How will you feel if it doesn't work? Can you handle the stress of uncertainty? If it does work, how does that change your life? You can also ask logistical questions. What's required to make this happen? Is this going to take time, energy, or resources that you haven't yet considered? And if so, what are those? Will it affect your family or business? And if so, in what ways? This is where you pause and we help them to see it. Sometimes just laying it all out is enough for the client to reconsider or to realize they're more committed than ever. The goal is that the client makes a clear and confident decision. The goal is not that they make the same decision you would. The goal is not that they make the decision you think is best. So step 3, contingency planning. Let's say they still want to move forward. Let's make it safer. You can ask, what's the exit strategy? If this doesn't go as planned, what will you do? How much loss are you willing to tolerate before making a different decision, before deciding to pivot? Is there a smaller way to test this strategy first? In other words, encourage staggered risk, not an all or nothing leap. This is what ethical coaching looks like. You're not telling them what to do. You're not blindly cheering them on either. You're walking beside them with your eyes open and theirs. Let's talk about what not to do. Don't dismiss the idea outright. That's way too risky. You shouldn't do that. Don't make it about your ego. You need to do it this way because I've seen what happens otherwise. And don't avoid the tough conversation. Ignoring the risks doesn't make them go away. One last reminder. Coaching is about empowerment, not control. Our role is to make sure clients see the full picture, to help them weigh the trade-offs, to make the visible invisible, and to trust that they are capable of choosing what's best for them, not what's comfortable for us. That's the kind of progress that lasts. That's how we help people become resilient, coach. And that's how we build a practice that we're actually proud of. Thank you for joining me on this episode. Go coach with clarity and trust. I'll catch you next week, coach. That's all for today. If you're ready to grow your own financial coaching business, head over to financialcoachacademy.com for helpful resources and tools. If this episode helped you, hit subscribe and leave us a review. I'll see you next week.